Hey, happy Monday, and may the fourth be with you. It is your host of Valley Views, Amanda Joy Christensen, and I'm coming to you from the most fabulous city in the world, Viva Las Vegas. This past weekend was absolutely transformative in a way that I truly did not anticipate, truly did not even consider it could be and just really healing. On Friday, May 1st, I participated in a public speaking panel with a group of my fellow Slaying Vegas sisters and found myself in a room with over 100 women from all walks of life, all ages, all races, all creeds, all religions. Um, and we all sat down in just a way that I feel like I'm new. Um, and I think that's something with May and mental health. I really just wanted to kind of put this episode out for Motivational Monday, for Mental Health Monday, for the May the 4th be with you, whatever silly little slogan you use to empower you to get you through the day. I'm not even like, I was about to walk out the door, honestly, to go to the store, but I really felt called to record this episode, put it out. Just in anticipation that somebody needs to hear what I have to say. So on Friday, some of the key takeaways that really stood out for me that I want to share for you is make extra time this month to do something special. May has 31 days and it's longer months than usual. And I just want to recommend whether you're celebrating Mother's Day, whether you're not, whether you're celebrating Memorial Day, whether you're celebrating just your birthday, maybe it's just the month of I'm celebrating 1 year anniversary of being alive just from losing a baby a year ago. There's different reasons we wake up every day and there's different reasons we celebrate. So, whatever choice you're making this day or the day you're listening to this, stop and do something special for you. I joke about buying flowers. Flowers are one of the most uplifting ways to make your home feel more grounded, but also I did something a little different last week. Instead of like buying flowers like I had been doing for the inside, I'm building a garden with my children and my mom here where we live. We started with nothing. We have a lemon tree now, a tangerine tree, a cherry tomato tree. I planted eggplants, parsley, basil. So just like, and I'm gonna go back and get a rose bush because oh my God, I'm dying to put one in my yard, and I have a pot big enough that could actually plant one. So it's just little things like that that make um, doing something special like it's not so much about what you're doing, but the anticipation and the joy and the excitement leading up to that moment coming together is really like what we're all searching for, that dopamine rush. We're all searching for that moment where, oh my God, something just happened and it felt above and beyond, or like divine from God, or just someone took some extra time to think of me or do something special for me that I wasn't expecting. And that's really what life is about. Taking the time to unexpectedly do things for others. That's real service. That's real hospitality. That's real kindness. That's real love. And there's so many things that I could sit here and say, oh, I'm regretful on, or I did wrong, or this isn't right. But I've noticed that the more that I just pour gratitude, whether it's received or not, whether people want it or not, um, to make right in the world is sometimes just to give love. And every single day I get up, okay, this is like a Capricorn thing about me. So since 2018, I've had a music playlist on Spotify that I've literally like added my favorite songs to um, until this year. And I created a brand new playlist. And the music before that I listened to, I don't want to be like, oh, it's trashy party girl music, but you know, whatever, call it what it is. Um, so now I'm just trying to like listen to more like intentional music, spiritual music, meditation music, um, even as much as like hymns in other languages to really just like connect with the spiritual side of life, but also um, to heal. And that's the other part that I think of like mental health that so many people underestimate, that the power of writing is actually such a healing ability. It gives you time to self-reflect, it gives you time to stand in time and space to vent. It also gives you time to write a letter to the idea of what didn't work out and maybe grieve that loss. Statistically, some of the information that came out of the maternal health side of the wellness event on Friday, one of the topics I sat in on directly was infertility and pregnancy loss. And coming up this week, is that 1 year anniversary of where I unexpectedly almost lost my life, but also lost a 7.5 week old baby that I was carrying. And with every other pregnancy, even the two miscarriages before, I did know I was pregnant. I did know and feel and like understand that I was already like connected to that spirit. But when I lost that baby last year, I just thought I was having like uncomfortable pain. I didn't know what I knew, and I experienced an ectopic pregnancy. I lost a fallopian tube, part of my uterus and reproductive like organs in that life-saving surgery. And when I came back or like woke up from that surgery, I just like remember my brain feeling different. And whether it was just this like grace that came over me from God or just this like clarity that life was so much more than chasing a paycheck. Life was more than chasing a title in a town where no one gives a shit about you unless you're just like a millionaire or like you're flaunting some bullshit that everyone else wants to smell. And or you're selling sex. But it's just like at what point, like I realized in that moment, like no one that was around me, including the man I was married to, cared if I lived or died, except for my mom, who was not yet here. And I think that like when you have that like realization that like your employers don't give a shit, the people that called your fake friends, they don't care, your fake family, like when you're in that moment in a hospital bed and you're about to die and like no one's there to even like show up to take care of your kids except for like maybe CPS, some shit got fucking real quick. And so many people harshly criticized me and judged me and blocked me and made up like lies about me because I fell short of the obligations I had in the adult world. But you know what actually fell short of me, the adult world I was living in? Fell short that there were actually people that cared. Um, no one cared. No one sent me flowers. No one checked on me. No one offered to send me a meal. And I just think that when that reality happens, you learn to be a lot more selective about your time and the people you associate with and the people that you intentionally choose to give your energy to. And I shared all that like Friday at the summit. So I'm sharing that all with you because for May, I'm starting an initiative and a group meetup for women who have experienced pregnancy loss. And I always wanted to name my daughter Scarlet Magnolia. Like from the time that I was 12 years old and I was like, I'm gonna have a daughter, her name was Scarlet Magnolia after my two favorite Grateful Dead songs. And when it came time to name my daughter, I named her Daria. And so many people were like, Amanda, what happened? Like, why didn't you name her Scarlet Magnolia like you always wanted to? And the loyalty of naming my kids to have names that mirrored each other overranked my need to name her Scarlet. But the baby I lost a year ago, I named her Scarlet Magnolia. I knew it was a girl based on the blood type information that they can pull. And, I want to start a meetup for women around music. I know so many times there's groups, support groups, where people go and grieve in a church and they like sit around and cry in a church. Well, I don't want to do that. I'm going to be selecting one musical event a month. I'm going to buy my own ticket, but if you feel called to buy a ticket to that event, and meet me there, I want to start for Scarlet Magnolia, a music meetup. And every month, if you're a grieving mother, whether you have a baby here or not, whether you are trying to conceive and maybe you can't and you just need space to like grieve the idea you'll never be a mom, send me a message. When I walked out of that fertility loss class, like workshop, I wasn't the only mom in there that shared about losing a baby. The woman I met had lost a baby that was literally born at full term, like stillborn. And that in itself, like, is hard enough. And when the world around me failed to see my sadness, my fear, my PTSD, my trauma, and everyone judged me and called me crazy and hurt me by using harsh words and saying I was fat and ugly when I was really hormonally imbalanced and grieving a pregnancy loss. I was experiencing anxiety and fear after almost losing my life due to a emergency life-saving surgery that my brain went into fight and flight after. And everyone around me just harshly judged me. And so when I chose to step into my private time, which I did do by choice, and step away from the evil of the world and all the people around me that were just using vanity to judge who I was and not hold space for the life I lost, for my own life I lost, for the own grief I was experiencing, I realized how many women walk through life and no one even fucking acknowledges it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to acknowledge it for me. I'm going to acknowledge it for the 7.5-week-old baby I lost, Scarlet Magnolia. And I'm going to acknowledge it for all the other women that are walking through life into May when it's Mother's Day. And some are going to get roses and balloons and cards. And others, like me, will just have missed moments of grief that are just placed in anger in a world that isn't even accepting of it. So for Scarlet Magnolia, I invite everybody to stay tuned. I'm going to be announcing the concert I'm going to in May is private. I'm going myself. I'm not inviting anyone on the anniversary, but I will publicly post in June the first music event. But I just think that music has been the only thing in my life. And I read a statistic. Women, particularly over the age of 40, who listen to EDM music, which shit, I've been listening to that since I was 20, find like PTSD symptoms to be released. But the music actually helps their body process trauma. Like, so if your body can't process out the trauma listening to music, hearing the sounds, hearing the dance vibes, dancing yourself, actually is like restorative enough to the nerves in your body that it can help you heal. And so I laugh because every day my new playlist, this is where I was going on and looping it back. I listened to the same music for like so long that was just about partying and this and that. So my new intentional playlist that I have, is just like holding space for songs that just like create that natural endorphin rush that so much of us chase. And whether it's being chased in like dating or OnlyFans or drinking or gambling, um, or just like ghosting people because you don't know how to connect, like all people want in the world is just to feel accepted for where they're at. And I think that so much of what mental health crises people experience is because the external environment that they're existing in conflicts with the fact that, like, maybe their home environment is filled with fear and trauma. And if you're living in a trauma mindset and a trauma brain and you step into a work environment or culture that doesn't have that, you should use empathy and like self-awareness to realize that women, especially in like childbearing years, go through some of the most like intense hormonal changes, go through some of the most like the like most mental Jedi training a woman has to go through is after she has a kid because her body is literally going to tell her you're going to die, the kid's going to die, everything's going to be like not possible, and it's just part of the maternal experience, because in the normal world, before we all had 9 to 5 cubicles, women were literally birthing children in a freaking field and then running. So, like, I just think like there's so much more to why women's brains, especially after pregnancy loss or just pregnancy completion when the baby is born, why the trauma and the emotions and like the space you need to hold for a woman in that time frame is so much more critical than any other time in a woman's life. And I freaking love that I was invited. One of the questions that was asked of me on the panel too was, how has Valley Views podcast helped you heal, and what type of questions do you ask? And it was really fun to answer that, so I want to share that. On Valley Views, it's helped me heal because for the first time in my life, I've told my unfiltered truth, and I don't know who knows it. And that is actually kind of like more powerful than telling the people closest to me who gaslit me my whole life saying it was fake. And the questions I ask are to teach. I don't ask superficial, shallow things like, oh, what kind of car do you drive? Do you smoke a joint? Is your favorite thing to do going out to a sushi or a burger place? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Because that sushi or burger place might be gone in 10 minutes. Talk to me about your rawest moment in life where you literally had your back against the wall and you lost it all and you dug your way out. Tell me, what would your younger self think of you now? Tell me, if you're a business owner, what is the best advice you could give someone who wants to start? I don't ask about, oh, did you go to the newest place? I don't care. Because I've seen that place become 12 places in the 20 years I've lived here. So it's going to be something new again next month. I want to know, when your back was against the wall and you lost it all, what did you do? When every single person in the boardroom laughed in your face and said your idea was lame, like Steve Jobs a billion times, what did you do? Did you give up? No. You just walked away from that table. So, to the woman who came up to me in the bathroom and said, I'm sorry to ask you this question in the bathroom, but I might not see you again. How did you do it and why? Here's my answer. And I gave you my business card, so I hope you find me. Um, why did I start Valley Views? Because I was mad, because my back was against a wall. And because I had lived in a city for so long where people had a narrative about me based on what someone else said. And the most important part about your mental health is to take your reality back and to be the owner of your life, be the owner of your voice, and be the owner of your goddamn boundaries. And that is what I learned waking up a year ago from a life-saving surgery when the doctor, right before I went in, said, there is a chance you might not survive this. What do you want me to tell your family? Do you know what I said to that doctor? I said, there's no way I'm not going to survive. God has me right where I'm supposed to be, in the middle of my assignment on earth, and He's going to bring me back. It's literally what I told the doctor, okay? And this doctor started crying and he goes, I've never heard anyone say anything like that going into a life-saving surgery. So I'll do everything I can. It's about your perspective. It's when your back is against the wall. What is the thought you tell your mind, body, and soul? And I told that doctor 1 year ago, I'm in the middle of my assignment. God is going to bring me back. I have a world to change. I have children to raise. I have a city to just inspire. But the best part is, it just showed me how one-dimensional most people are. and how when their backs are against the wall, most people are never going to speak up. And they'd rather go to the grave with their own lies than telling the truth and just like making peace with things. And that's what women have to learn is a lot of times in life because our emotions can get the best of us, especially in our fertile years. I laugh because God, these years, I'm like a freaking animal. I'm like carnal. It's not normal. It's really not, but it is when you read like why you feel that way. So it is totally normal. But that was the other part about this last year. After October, I left a job. Bullshit aside, I already aired that. I left my marriage and I lost everything, but it's so nice to just like kind of feel like the one thing I didn't lose was my voice. I didn't lose my mission and I didn't lose my purpose around creating a space where I could actually heal and make a difference. And some of the people that are my friends now because of this project, um, thank you. And I joke that I'm just getting started because I am, but I am totally like elated in a way about the future of Valley Views, um, that it's going to be legendary. Like it's already created a ripple, but the opportunity to heal, to teach people how to cope, to teach people that sometimes taking a step back and going inward to journal, to pray, to just stay away from everyone, to recenter and find your heart is okay. And so make time to do that this May. Make time to grieve the loss. Make time to laugh. Make time to dance. Make time to buy the damn roses, okay? I went to buy the roses. They're really expensive right now because it's Mother's Day, and I'm not buying myself roses for Mother's Day because I don't want to spend that much money. I can't. So if someone wants to send me roses, I'll send you my address privately. But listen, the point is that when I started this project, and even you listen to the first few episodes, it was rough, it was raw. But I think about now, I'm just like loving me. I love who I am. I love the space that I'm creating. I love the people that I've highlighted. And I love the dreamers and the legacy leaders of Las Vegas that aren't celebrities that come onto my show and give real life educational advice that will inspire and change and coach the next generation. Last but not least, Go Knights Go. They are going into the second round tonight of the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Ducks. May the fourth be with them. May the fourth be with you all. I have an upcoming interview coming out later this week with a family court judge. She is running for family court judge, Patricia Marr. I will be profiling who she is, her amazing story, and her inspiration on why family court judges should be more involved in the outcome of how the children's lives will be. So much of family court is revolved around the questions around the parents, but her dynamic and her heart and the service that she's led in the family court world for I think almost 30 years, she has found a way to inspire and change, and she is running to hold a seat here to be a judge in Clark County and continue to advocate for children's rights. Um, Above parents' rights that, she shared with me, even in my own circumstance, that at the end of the day, it's about what will make the kids happy. Put your personal feelings aside about how the other person hurt you and what will make the kid happy. And I think that we often live in a world where we're so worried about what is going to make us happy, that what will make the kids happy in your life? It doesn't have to be your own kid. It could be a coworker, it could be your parents, it could be your best friend. It could be that really annoying dog up the street that just keeps barking every time you're on a run. And you really want to throw a ball at it, but you don't. So you just turn on your favorite EDM song instead. The point is, we all have annoying kids, whether we have a kid or not. So this week, find out how to make those kids happy so they don't haunt your life. I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Valley Views. God bless, and most of all, save yourself some time this week and just like put on a good song and dance around and heal your brain and trauma. Deuces.